As you work on your computer, you're going to need to use the right tools for the right job. For example, if we enable the build break mode and we try to remove one of these capacitors, you'll see that our event window is saying activate a soldering or desoldering iron first. Well, we need to get that tool. If we try to remove the screws from the power supply, you'll see you need to use the correct tools. In order to do this, we need to head over to the shop, buy some tools, activate them, and then use them on our system. We want to come up here to our profile window and we're going to select the shop icon. And once we're in the shop, you can move it around by clicking on shop and left clicking and dragging. And we're going to go down to tools and we're going to need to buy a Phillips, go to the next page, buy a flashlight, buy a soldering iron, and buy the ESD wrist strap. Some of these other tools are just different options and variations. To close this window, move your mouse outside of the shop window and hold right click. Now we need to activate these tools. So you'll see on the left that we have an option for a flashlight, a soldering iron, and an ESD wrist strap. Let's first cover the ESD wrist strap because our ESD is building up. Open your inventory by going to your profile window and clicking on the inventory icon. Click on your ESD wrist strap, then left click activate. When you activate it, it will show up in your toolbar down at the bottom. You'll also see it shows up on the left. The left is more of a quick select tool select. So for now, we're going to left click your ESD strap, and while it's activated, you'll notice that our ESD begins to slowly go down. If it doesn't go down fast enough, you're going to need to use your Android. So if we go to our Android, and as we're talking, you'll see our ESD is actually going down. But if you right click on your Android companion and you show remove OSD, click on it, all of the ESD will become dissipated. As you continue wearing your ESD wrist strap, it will continue to dissipate. As you gain more toolbar slots, you're going to want to have this activated the majority of the time. That way you don't forget to enable it. Let's move on to the next tool. So since we're limited on our toolbar selection, we're going to right click down here to remove it, and hence it's going to remove it from your active toolbar on the left. We're going to go back to the inventory icon, and we're going to enable a flashlight. Left click on the flashlight, left click on activate, it shows up in your tool belt, and momentarily it's going to show up on the left side of the window so you can use it to see better. Now that it shows up, you can left click to activate it. You'll notice it's a little easier to see all your parts and components. Whenever you want to deactivate it, simply right click and it's turned off. If you want to turn it back on, left click and then right click to turn it off. Since we're still limited in our tool belt, we're going to need to remove this to move on to the soldering iron. So right click on the bottom icon to remove it, and it will eventually go away in the left panel. Now we need to go back to our inventory and we're going to activate our soldering iron. So left click it, left click activate, it shows up in your toolbar. Now it's going to show up in the left command toolbar. If we activate this, we're now using our soldering iron. So let's deactivate it for a moment and go back to our capacitor. If we try to click on it, you'll see it says activate a soldering or desoldering iron first. Well, we have it in our toolbar, but we need to activate it. So left click on it, and now click on your capacitor, and now you're able to remove it. We've now removed the capacitor. Let's put it back in, and let's move on to our screwdriver. So we tried to remove the power supply earlier, and it didn't work. If we try to do it again, you'll see it says you need to use the right tool. So since we're limited in our tool belt, we're going to right click to remove it, go back to our inventory, find our Phillips head screwdriver, activate it. Now this one doesn't show up in the left toolbar because it's not commonly used, and we're going to have more options here later. For now, you can click on it on the bottom tool belt. Once activated, you can now remove the screws. And that's how you use tools.